DBS News. Fresh in the morning, eye-opening and balanced. The DBS Morning News starts right now.
This morning's headlines: Dominica's move towards self-reliance from the use of geothermal energy has reached a new milestone. In news from the region, the voting period is over and now Guyana awaits the winner of yesterday's general election. And on the international scene, hundreds killed following a landslide in Sudan. Good morning, I'm Gavin Richards with the DBS Major Morning News. The details right after this.
Tired of having the same boring breakfast every morning? Well, Monflake Oats is the healthy and perfect solution just for you. Make your breakfast exciting by adding Monflakes to your pancakes, parfait, or even milkshake. Monflake can be found in different sizes and available in granola, such as Caribbean or Hawaiian. Stop worrying about what to prepare for your breakfast, dessert, snack, or even dinner. Monflake is the best addition to your meal. Grab yourself a bag today.
Locally distributed by Fine Foods Inc. and available island-wide.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
DBS News.
Welcome back. First up in the news this morning, Dominica's move towards self-reliance from the use of geothermal energy has reached a new milestone. This as the Caribbean Development Bank, the CDB, says a number of financial partners on the project have honored their commitments. This as the bank says it has reached financial close on a facility for the geothermal plant. The bank says the facility was made available to the Geothermal Power Company, or the GPC, of Dominica for the construction of the 10-megawatt project. The GPC is a wholly owned subsidiary of the Ormat Technologies Inc., a leading international geothermal developer. The CDB said that Dominica's project is the first geothermal project in the region to reach this stage with a private sector partner. The CDB Vice President of Operations, Isaac Solomon, says this is a pivotal transaction for the bank and for the Commonwealth of Dominica and for the region. It showcases the potential of blended concessional finance to mobilize private sector expertise and deliver transformative clean energy solutions in small island developing states. While the power plant development phase is being implemented as a private sector-led initiative, with the Caribbean Development Bank, the CDB, acting as the lead financial arranger. The project has secured $34.8 million in concessional funding. Of this amount, $25.4 million is being provided by the Green Climate Fund, or the GCF, in the form of a concessional loan, which was mobilized through the Inter-American Development Bank. An additional $9.4 million is being provided from Canada's Supporting Resilient Green Energy Initiative in the Caribbean, and the CARICOM Development Fund, the CDF, is also contributing $15 million in loan financing. Recently, Energy Minister Vince Henderson, or that should be Dr. Vince Henderson, said the geothermal plant was on track to be completed by the end of the year. In some more news this morning, the Dominica Council on Aging is to recognize the country's 16 centenarians between September 22nd and the 26th. President of the Dominica Council on Aging, Nigel Lawrence, says visits to each centenarian are on the cards. His comments as the Dominica Council on Aging launched activities for the month of the elderly yesterday.
Then the 22nd to the 26th, we recognize our centenarians. We call it Centenarians Week. On the 22nd is supposed to be our day to recognize centenarians, on the 22nd of the month. So the 22nd is the Centenarians Day, but between the 22nd through to the 26th, we are going to try to visit all of the centenarians we have on our island. And it is a day that these people need to be cherished. It's a period they need to be cherished. We have been asking the support of various corporate partners to help us when we go to visit these centenarians. And if anybody is within hearing sight of us and you want to give us something for that day, to give to your centenarians, we welcome that. We want to be able to bring something to them, to show them. We just don't use them to put them on our map, on our Facebook pages, and on our Instagram pages and talk about them as being so many years, or Dominica has so many of them, but we want to show them love. And it is a chance for us to dialogue with them. And I would like to tell you that they are a model of health to us. None of them are suffering from high blood pressure. None of them are suffering from diabetes.
And that's President of the Dominica Council on Aging, Nigel Lawrence. Meantime, Minister of State with Responsibility for Seniors Security, Dr. Cassandra Williams, says the contribution of caregivers to the Dominican society is unchallenged. She says the care administered to the elderly must be of a high standard.
Every road we travel, every school we attend, every community we call home has been touched, shaped, and built by the hands of those who came before us. It took a level of courage that we can barely imagine for them to navigate life in an era that had none of the comforts and conveniences we enjoy today. But to truly shape tomorrow, we must act in the present. And this is where I must pause to offer deep and heartfelt thanks to the caregivers, whether you are family members tending to loved ones at home, dedicated staff in our residential facilities, and Yes We Care program, organizations such as the Council on Aging, volunteers in community groups, or healthcare professionals who serve with patience and compassion. You are the unsung heroes of this journey. Your sacrifices and your daily acts of kindness embody the very best of who we are as a people. So on behalf of the government and people of this nation, I say thank you. Thank you for giving of yourselves so generously. Thank you for ensuring that our elders are not left behind, but instead are cherished, respected, and supported.
That's Minister of State with Responsibility for Senior Security, Dr. Cassandra Williams. The Dominica State College is set to welcome its new cohort of students for the academic year 2025-2026 this morning. Over 400 students have enrolled for this new academic year. The officer in charge at the Dominica State College is Trudy Christian.
So on Tuesday, we kick off the week's activities with a welcoming ceremony for the new students. And we also are going to engage them in campus tours and in lots of seminars and informational sessions. And then on Tuesday, the parents will also get their chance to interact with the administration of the Dominica State College in our parents orientation session at 4:30 p.m. And then the week will continue for the new students with activities on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. The students will get to enroll in their classes. They will get to be exposed to the student activities or the student affairs options for them, so extracurricular options. They will also have a fun day on Friday where we have performances lined up for them, as well as a general fundraiser. So it's meant to be a week of engagement for our new students. At the Dominica State College, we are pleased to report that we have accepted just about 450 students for the new academic year. And of course, we're still processing some late applicants, but we are on par with previous years and our numbers. We are expecting just under 500 to begin school with us in 2025.
And that's the officer in charge at the Dominica State College, Trudy Christian. $45,000 in grant awards is available for local entrepreneurs as part of the GEMS Foundation's third annual Philip Nassif Entrepreneurship Challenge. Since its inception, the challenge has awarded a total of 90,000 EC dollars to 6 entrepreneurs. Director of Entrepreneurship for the GEMS Foundation, Lizra Fabian, says the challenge has fueled growth that has led to enhanced operations, increased revenues, and improved efficiency for the winning businesses.
Today, we are delighted to launch the third annual Philip Nassif Entrepreneurship Challenge as we continue our mission to support entrepreneurs in Dominica and to strengthen their businesses within the hospitality and tourism supply chain. We are pleased to know that in just 2 years, this challenge has awarded 90,000 EC dollars to 6 entrepreneurs. It's 20,000 for the first place, 15,000 for the second place, and 10,000 for the third place. And this has fueled the growth of the businesses, ensuring that they could enhance their operations, they've increased their revenues, and they've also improved their efficiency. Now, this impact has gone further beyond just the 6 who've won the funds to those who've been shortlisted, who've also received mentorship. And the businesses have shared that this has sharpened their business strategies and also boosted their long-term sustainability. This year is no exception, and the challenge invites applicants from businesses within the hospitality and tourism supply chain in Dominica, including food and beverage, agro-processing, wellness, entertainment, transportation, technology, safety, marketing, and energy efficiency services. Similar to the previous years, the 3 winners will be awarded 45,000 EC dollars. That would be 20,000 for the first place, 15,000 for the second place, and 10,000 for the third place winners.
And that was Director of Entrepreneurship for the GEMS Foundation, Lizra Fabian. And Chief Election Officer Anthea Joseph says the equipment and other material needed for the voter confirmation process is available. The Parliament of Dominica amended the Registration of Electors Act on Friday to give the Electoral Commission more time to prepare for the voter confirmation process. The voter confirmation process is set to begin on the 15th of October.
And we have engaged the contractors for preparing the voter ID cards and developing the software. We have also located and outfitted the confirmation centers in all 21 constituencies, as well as we have identified the enrollment officers for those respective centers. We have secured all the necessary equipment, and as we speak, they are on island. Adjustment in the date for the commencement of physical confirmation is mainly due to the fact that while we were developing the software, we noticed necessary amendments that were to be made. And to ensure both the software and the forms align with the legal framework that is guiding the process, the Commission decided a delay was necessary.
Chief Election Officer Anthea Joseph. Minister for Education Octavia Alfred has highlighted the importance of adult education in Dominica. In an address to mark Adult Education Month, the Education Minister said adult education has touched the lives of hundreds of Dominicans at various levels.
This month provides us with the opportunities to reflect on how far we have come as a nation in creating inclusive spaces for learning and to reaffirm our collective commitment to lifelong education as a driver of empowerment, resilience, and national progress. Across our 7 districts, the Adult Education Division continues to reach hundreds of citizens through literacy and academic upgrading program, electrical installation, cake making and decorating, auto mechanics, styling, woodwork, plumbing, welding, food preparation, garment production, and cosmetology skills, to name a few. The scope of our courses reflects the diverse needs of our people. 223 individuals successfully completed training in skills courses for the period July 2024 to June 2025, empowering themselves to create brighter futures for their families and communities. During our summer courses from July to August 2025, 300 individuals had their prior learning formally enhanced as part of their journey towards National Vocational Qualification Certification. These achievements are not just statistics. They represent determination, resilience, and the drive of our people to transform their lives through education.
Minister for Education Octavia Alfred at church service, radio addresses, book fair, beautification project in Kulibistri, and a graduation ceremony among the activities for Adult Education Month. Well, let's head into news from the region this morning. The Guyana Elections Commission is reporting that voting for yesterday's general and regional elections went smoothly. There were, however, reports of low voter turnout, glitches on the electoral body's website, and challenges with access to polling places faced by differently abled people. Well, the Elections Commission says where issues had arisen, they were addressed promptly and transparently in accordance with the law. The Commission is in the process of uploading results and said that they are not in a position to give a specific date for the declarations of the elections, except to say that the body would try to do so in the fastest time possible. And on the international scene, a landslide has killed at least 370 people in the remote Mara Mountains in Western Sudan. Antoine Gerard, the UN Deputy's humanitarian coordinator for Sudan, said it was hard to assess the scale of the incident or the exact death toll as the area was very hard to reach. The Sudan Liberation Movement Army, the armed group in control of the affected area, had earlier said that 1,000 people had died. Days of heavy rain triggered the landslide, which has left one survivor and leveled much of the village of Tarasin. Well, that's the news. Let's recap the headlines. Dominica's move towards self-reliance from the use of geothermal energy has reached a new milestone. The voting period is over, and now Guyana awaits the winner of yesterday's general elections, and hundreds killed following a landslide in Sudan. That's the news. Stay tuned for sports.
Yummy. Yummy. Looking for something sweet, chewy, delicious, or even crunchy? We've got you covered. Mars and Wrigley's products are the perfect pick for all your sweet tooth cravings. Available in M&M's, Twix, Milky Way, Snickers, Skittles, and even gummies. So next time your cravings are at an all-time high, choose Mars and Wrigley's.
Available at Fine Foods Inc. distribution or your favorite supermarket island-wide.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Here's a quick tip from NBD.
A quick tip from the National Bank of Dominica Limited. Scammers may send fake emails or texts. Remember, NBD will never ask you to reset your mobile banking password or share your card PIN, CVV, or other sensitive information this way. Stay alert. Stay secure. When in doubt, contact NBD, your partner, your bank.
Welcome to the Morning Sports. Let's kick off with football news. Tarish United FC is seeking answers from the Dominica Football Association on the details of their club suspension and the ruling from the DFA's disciplinary committee. Well, in early July, Tarish United were charged with wrongdoing as it relates to their participation in the DFA's Under-15 Football League. The club was accused of falsifying and altering official identification documents and registering ineligible players for the Under-15 tournament. After a few weeks of investigations, the Dominica Football Association in mid-August took a decision to suspend the Tarish United FC club not only from the Under-15 competition but from all other football activities organized by the Dominica Football Association, pending a hearing from the disciplinary committee. The disciplinary committee was scheduled to meet on the 15th of August. Club president James Gervais says that the club, they are yet to receive any communication from the Dominica Football Association.
So, Gavin, we met with the committee on the 15th of August, but the club was unable to defend itself due to the fact that we only found out who the players were about an hour or 2 hours before the meeting, because the club made a request to find out which players it is that they were investigating and which players it is that they have found wanting. So, for that reason, the club made a request to the committee that we are unable to defend ourselves and our players because we didn't know which players were allegedly found overage or. So the committee, we asked the committee to give us some more time, which the committee did accept our request, and they moved the meeting 5 days further, which was on the 20th of August. On that day, the club, we met with the committee and we presented our report. That is the club's report. That's on the 20th of August. We have presented that, and since then, we haven't received a message, we haven't received a call, no form of communication from the DFA. Gavin, and if you check from the date, it's almost 3 months now that the situation has been going on.
And that's Tarish United Club President James Gervais. Well, DBS Sports reached out to the Dominica Football Association, and we were told that the matter is a very serious one which could have further reaching implications and that it is still being investigated. But DBS Sports will continue to follow the story and bring the updates as soon as they become available. Let's stay with football news because the head coach of the Do It Center Mighty Avengers football team, Kareem Regis, is optimistic that the club can take the next step and secure promotion to the DFA Premier League. The Mighty Avengers made it to the semi-finals of the Division 1 League last season, and they're among the top clubs again in this year's competition. They're currently second in their zone. Regis says that the club took a lot of lessons from last year's showing and that they're hoping that the experience will guide them through this year's run to the Premier League.
Well, we have a young team, and even myself as a young coach, a lot of the guys had never been in that position before. A lot of the guys, when I took over about 3 years ago, a lot of the guys were just starting to play full competition 11-11 football. So everything for them from that point to now is new. So the semi-finals was a new experience for them. It was a new set of pressure. It was a new set of circumstances. So after having experienced that, a lot of the guys that ignited a fire in them, and they want to make it all the way to the promised land because, you know, we want that respect as a team. So for a lot of those guys, making it to the semi-finals isn't the problem. Getting past the semi-finals isn't the problem. And as far as we're concerned, we're just taking it one game at a time till we get to that final stage. And then when we reach the final stage, the onus is on me now as a coach to prepare my team properly. The players want it, I have to want it, and I have to will them to it.
Head coach of the Do It Center Mighty Avengers football team, Kareem Regis. In some netball news this morning, the governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Timothy Antwine, says the challenges faced during the 5th ECCB International Netball Series has highlighted the need for Grenada to improve on their sporting facilities. Well, the tournament was marred by rain. Speaking at the closing ceremony of the tournament, Antwine says there is need for investment in sporting facilities across the Caribbean.
Thank you to everyone who's contributed to making these games a success. I want to thank everyone, players, officials, all those who supported. And I'm especially grateful tonight for your work over the last week, given the challenges we face in terms of the weather. I know it was tough on the players, tough on the officials, and all those associated with executing these games. Players, I know you're tired. You didn't have enough time for recovery. I get that. And still, you persevered. Give them a lusty round of applause. Having said that, the challenges of the past week invites us to consider how we must go forward. And I will join my voice with those who say Grenada needs an indoor facility. Grenada needs that not just for netball, but for basketball, volleyball, tennis, and what have you.
And that's the governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Timothy Antwine. The fifth ECCB International Netball Series was won by St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Dominica managed just 2 wins out of their 8 matches played in the tournament. The goalkeeper and goal defense, Selena Langley, was named Dominica's most valuable player. Let's move to cricket news as Karen Pollard reminded everyone of how destructive he can be on his day. And Nicky P got his second straight half-century as the Trinbago Knight Riders extended their lead at the top of the points table, qualifying for the playoffs in the process as the Republic Bank CPL continued yesterday. Well, the Trinbago Knight Riders, they got past the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots. The Knight Riders, they batted first. They made 179 for 6. Karen Pollard, he made 65 of just 28 balls with 8 sixes. Nicholas Pruan added 52, and Darren Bravo got 21. Jason Holder, he took 2 for 25, and Kyle Mayers 1 for 11 for the Patriots. The Patriots in search of 180. They got a great start from Andre Fletcher and Evan Lewis, who put on 96 for the first wicket. Fletcher got 67, Evan Lewis 42, but the Patriots didn't fire in the back end of the innings, and they could only get 167 for 6 in their 20 overs. Alec Athanase got 19. Nathan Edward took 3 for 30 for the Knight Riders. The Knight Riders won the game by 12 runs. The win moves the Knight Riders to the top of the points table with 12 points.
First of all, I want to give Jesus all praise and thanks. What is pleasing for me is that we understood the condition, understood what is going to happen. We felt like we would have lost the toss today, and there's a high chance we'd have to bat first on a wicket that would have some moisture as well. And we had to assess conditions. We know Monners and Halesy due to field as well. Everything happened today, we actually spoke about it, and we felt like we just had to dig deep as much as possible. Obviously a really good partnership with Polly and myself there, but for me the most important thing today is that we understood that the power play was going to be tough for us, especially defending 180, and the bowlers tried to eliminate Fletcher and Evan as much as possible. And then the bowling outside the power play was incredible, from Usman, Sunil, Amir, and most importantly Nathan. Nathan answered that call. We only win this game today because of Nathan.
No, brilliantly put. In fact, you mentioned Amir. How is he? How is Ray Ross?
Yeah, these guys will be fine. They are warriors. They've been playing with injuries and niggles throughout their career. They're going to be fine.
And that's the Trinbago Knight Riders captain, Nicholas Puran. Meantime, the defeat leaves the Patriots stranded on 4 points after 8 matches, and they're in danger of not qualifying for the playoffs.
Yeah, I felt we were in the game, probably up to 32 overs in the game. Unfortunately, we weren't able to close the game out. Probably got stuck after probably like the 13th over mark, and then, just weren't able to get it going in the back end.
Well, with lots of questions around the batting order, you promoted Alec Athanaze up the order. Do you reckon that that was the play as opposed to a Kyle Mayers or a big hitter?
Yeah, I mean, at that stage, we just wanted to keep ticking over. We felt Alec was the guy to come in here and just tick it over. They didn't do a horrible job. Just probably a boundary or too short. But having said that, I still think we should have gotten over the line.
Yeah, it was close in the end. The next match for you will be an ultimate do or die, I guess. What's the frame of mind you take into that?
Look, we just got to play fearless cricket. We've got nothing to lose really from here. I think we just got to play some fearless cricket and play for some pride at least. We never know what can happen in terms of the table, so we still got to go there and put up a big effort.
And that's not the Barbados, but the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots captain, Jason Holder. And we can end with another cricket item as the West Indies under-19 batsman Johan Van Lang is back in his team to continue to come hard as they meet Sri Lanka in the second youth ODI this morning. Well, the West Indies, they're coming off a 12-run win over Sri Lanka in the first match on the weekend, and the game forms part of the West Indies under-19 team's preparations for the upcoming World Cup. Of course, Dominica's Eugenio Fontaine is part of the West Indies under-19 team and is expected to be in action as well today as the West Indies under-19, they take on Sri Lanka in the second youth match in Antigua and Barbuda. There's also some cricket further afield this morning with the first one-day international between South Africa and England set to get underway in a few moments' time. Of course, DBS Sports will continue to follow these matches and others, bring you the updates throughout the course of the day. That's the news and sports. And of course, we'd like to thank you for listening. Join us at 11 o'clock for a news update and at 1:15 for the 13:15 news. Until then, I'm Gavin Richards saying good morning.
A quick tip from the National Bank of Dominica Limited. Scammers may send fake emails or texts. Remember, NBD will never ask you to reset your more banking password or share your card PIN, CVV, or other sensitive information this way. Stay alert. Stay secure. When in doubt, contact NBD, your partner, your bank.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
DBS News. Accurate, up-to-date, professional. We bring you the news of the nation via 3 newscasts, Monday to Saturday at 7 a.m. The DBS Major Morning News, 1:15 p.m. Your lunchtime news bulletin, and at 6 in the evening, the DBS Evening News. Call us at 448-4302. Listen on www.dbcradio.net. Don't forget to like our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/DBS Radio. Stay on top of the nation's news with your nation station, DBS.
The time compliments the good folks of Auto Trade. It's now 7:34 here on your Nature Isle. Auto Trade's newest Changan Hunter is here. Book your test drive today and smart your future. Coming up shortly, we bring you your morning's weather report. Just before we do so, we'd like to remind you of your Kalinago word of the day for today, and that's Iyuma. Iyuma.